Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Medicom Toys Mafex. Is it Mafex or is it Mafex? Either way, number 113, Spider-Man Far From Home. This is the Spider-Man upgraded suit figure. So I ordered mine from Amazon Japan long time ago. Mafex has delays all the time, and then COVID, so even more of a delay. But I got it. Amazon shipped out yesterday, and I received it today. That is how fast DHL moves. They get their shit. It gets flown over from Japan, lands in Ohio, gets sent over to Stockton, and then delivered that same day. Like, it's insane. Literally shipped out yesterday, and I received it today from Japan. Crazy how fast that was. But anyway, looking at the figure, we see all those accessories. So we have a bunch of different hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 additional interchangeable hands, including the fists there, which would make it 8. We get some interchangeable feet, which I think are probably going to be the magnetic feet. We get one interchangeable head where the lenses are squinted down a little bit. We have a cell phone there, and I'm sure there's going to be some web accessories and things like that. We get the Spider-Man Far From Home logo. You can see Mafex number 113. Looking here on the side of the package, we get the figure in pose. Looking on this side, hey, we got a peace pose right there. He's doing a selfie. And then we get several different looks at the figure in some action poses. We have a look at the two different heads. You can see one is squinted just a little bit more. Not a whole lot of difference. And then we get various different web accessories that are probably going to be the same from all the different Mafex figures. So let's get this thing out of the box. And like other Mafex figures, he does come with a stand. I think I always forget to mention that. Like with the Iron Spider one, I had forgotten to mention that as well. So there are the web accessory pieces. What I like about this one is compared to like the comic book Spider-Man is just a white web. We actually get translucent web pieces here. And then you can see all the accessories were pretty much visible from the box. So no surprises or anything like that. Okay, here is the Spider-Man figure out of the package. And so right off the bat, I'm going to be honest, there's something really just off and weird about this figure. Now, he has all the articulation points that you would ever want in a Spider-Man figure. The accessories are top-notch. We get thwip hands, we get wall-crawling hands, we get web-holding hands, we get open, relaxed hands, we get the damn peace sign selfie for both hands. But there's just something off about the figure. So I have several different Mafex Spider-Man figures. I have 2 damn Iron Spiders because I'm crazy and get multiples, I guess. So, whoops. So anyway, two Iron Spiders. I have 2 damn Homecoming Mafex Spider-Man figures. And I now have this one, and then I will also get the Night Monkey. All these figures are all very proportionate and look really nice, the bodies of them. This Spider-Man figure just looks kind of short and stubby, and just really off and weird. Like, it's hard to explain. From the side, it looks really nice, but looking here, there's just something odd about the proportions and the hip, the legs, the chest and torso. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm crazy, but having it in hand, it's just, again, something really off from it. The details of the figure are outstanding and top-notch. I like the way it looks more than the Marvel Legends figure, which is here. I like it more than the SH Figuarts as well, which I did enjoy. And that video is actually one of my top viewed videos on YouTube, the SHF, which I can't even get this damn Marvel Legends to stand. But the SHF figure, I think even at the time, my biggest complaint on the SH Figuarts upgrade suit Spider-Man was just because of the black. It's not really a black plastic color that they use. It's more of a extremely dark indigo or extremely dark blue and not a black. But this one, we get a nice black. We don't get too bright of a red, which is the problem with the Marvel Legends and the not painted web lines, of course. The SH Figuarts, I really like that red. The Mafex is kind of a little bit too muted. I think should be a little bit brighter, kind of along the lines of the SH Figuarts. So in my eyes, as of right now, there's no damn perfect upgraded suit Spider-Man figure, which is unfortunate because damn, it's Spider-Man. How do you mess up Spider-Man? And it seems like all the companies, they just couldn't seem to nail it 100%. I have Hot Toys that'll be coming, I think, in March, or it got pushed to April or something. That figure will be outstanding, but it's a damn Hot Toys. It better be, right? So for the price, you know, this one was 80 something bucks. The SH Figure Arts was probably around 80 bucks as well. The Marvel Legends being $20, that's your best value, of course. You know, you can't expect too much out of a $20 figure, but when you're spending $80+, you know, getting mine from Amazon Japan, made it a little bit cheaper, but if you're getting it from a seller here in the United States, they have the import fees that they've got to incur, and they're gonna price it accordingly, and it's probably gonna be around $100, if not more. I would have expected a little bit more from this, and especially for being Mafex. Mafex has produced some outstanding figures, but there's just something about this one that leaves me really disappointed, especially since delay after delay after delay. But anyway, enough of that. Let's zoom in on the figure so you could kind of see those details that I'm talking about. Okay, so here's a close look at the Spider-Man figure. Now, the head sculpt looks pretty good. I have no problems with the head sculpt. That all looks really good. My main issue, I guess, would just be in the red color that they chose to use. Now, we have an interchangeable head here, and if you look, they're slightly a different shade of red, which is kind of weird. Now, this red would have looked a lot better if this is the red that you would have used on the rest of the figure. But why this head is a different shade of red than this one, I don't know, and that just kind of baffles me. So taking a look at this, let's see how this head looks on this body. But it's just weird. Like, what happened to where this head would be a different red? Like, I don't know how noticeable that's going to be on camera. You probably can't tell. But it is different. It is a much brighter red. It's a very faded red throughout the rest of the figure. So looking at it closely from the head to the neck, it's like, what the hell was going on? Maybe mine's a one-off where it looks like that. I doubt it, but that kind of sucks. Because I really like the red of this head and not necessarily of the body. Now, one thing that I hadn't really noticed before until I watched Unparalleled Universe's review on the Peter B. Parker Spider-Man is these damn ball joints at the wrists and the ankles. This one isn't as big a deal, I guess, but it's like, why wouldn't you use the same color plastic for the ball joint? The ball joint itself doesn't bother me. It's the color of it. It's a very bright red compared to a very faded, dull red. And it's just really noticeable. Luckily on the wrists, these ball pegs are black color and hide well. They're a shiny black compared to a little bit more of a muted black. But it doesn't really stick out nearly as bad. Now on some of the other Mafex figures, it's not so much an issue. Like looking at the Iron Spider, that red, sure, it may not be a metallic color, but the reds are similar, so it's not so much an issue. Looking at like the Homecoming figure, that red is a fairly close match. Not 100%, but a fairly close match. This isn't even close. Not even close. And then looking at the hip, so I think it's the hip portion that just looks so much larger and just really seems off. So like when you compare the two, if you notice the hip portions, it's more proportional to the body, whereas this one, it's a little bit larger. So this lower torso piece, that even though yes, it rests in there, you could see it rests in there, and there's a lot more space on this figure versus like the Homecoming figure. So it's just kind of weird. It just looks like he's wearing a diaper under his suit. This video might just turn out to be a complaint session on Mafex, because I'm a little pissed off about it, because I was expecting this to be the standout figure of all Spider-Man figures, and it's just kind of leaning towards not. Now it still will be in terms of articulation, so let's not confuse that. But in terms of overall aesthetic of the figure, I'm a little disappointed. I am. I'm disappointed. Anyway, zoom out. Let's look at the articulation, because that's going to be the highlight, of course. Okay, so Spider-Man's articulation. So he can look all the way down because the neck has its own point of articulation. The head itself can't really move down on the ball peg, but it can move up and he can look up that much without actually moving the neck, because the neck itself doesn't really go back a whole lot. So it'll go forward, it can kind of go to the side, so you can get all kinds of crazy ass pivot in the neck going. So there's that. You get the full rotation in there, of course. Shoulder you can get to go straight out, which is great. You also have that butterfly joint in there, which can actually go up and down as well. It doesn't come forward so much, so you can get some crossbody, as you can see there. Let me see, let me try and lighten this up a little bit. Wrong way. And then going back, you can get it to go back quite a bit as well. You get a full rotation in there, of course. You have an upper bicep swivel there. You get a double jointed elbow, which works out phenomenally. Wrist is on a ball peg, so you can get a swivel. You can get it into some, you can hinge it either way as well. You can turn it and do all kinds of things with the wrist. So that's all great. There is the upper diaphragm joint, so you can get it to go back only that much. You can get it to come forward only that much. It doesn't even really, the top diaphragm joint doesn't even really pivot side to side, but the waist ball can. So you can get them to pivot to the side that much. You can pivot to the other side that much. You can get them to go back with both of those points that much. Coming forward is only that much. So that is actually pretty limited. So it's like, what the hell? You do have a swivel there at the waist. The diaphragm joint can swivel as well. So double points of swivel there, but we can only crunch forward that much. The legs have the drop down feature, so you can kick out extremely high. You can see it can kind of go to the side there without the drop down. It just looks kind of funny on the leg, getting it to kick out. There's not a swivel, but you can kind of turn it a little bit at that upper part of the thigh. You get a double jointed knee, which gives you that much bend. No calf swivel or anything like that. Foot hinges down only so much. It hinges up a little bit, which is good. There is... God, I can't even work pivot in there. There's some pivot, but it is pretty lacking. And you have the toe joint there, so you can hinge the toe. So I am actually, having moved this around, I'm actually a little disappointed in the articulation as well. Because let's see, like looking at the Iron Spider, I feel like we got more of the ab crunch there. Looking at the Homecoming Spider-Man, I feel like we got more ab there. The upgrade suit, it's just not, it's not the same. It's not, I feel like Homecoming's a little bit more, but I mean, man, I'm just really disappointed in this figure. Okay, so looking at it, I take a little bit back. So he can, you could still see that he still doesn't crunch as far forward as this one, but you could do certain things, and that's going to be on the hips and not the torso portion. So maybe I was a little bit quick to judge on how much his torso is moving, but even still, it's less than what they were giving us before. It's like a lot less. Like a lot less. So even, let's say, Iron Spider, throw him in the mix, you could still see he crunches down a lot more forward than this guy. Still, let's move on. We're gonna move on. Let's see some comparisons. Let's move on. Okay, so here is the Mafex trio. We have the Homecoming, the Far From Home, and the Avengers Infinity War, or Avengers Endgame. One would be this one technically, but it's basically the same figure. I still have the issue with the leg, with one leg drop down, is stuck down and won't go up. But looking at them proportionally, these two are similar. Homecoming, I think, was a little bit small, a little bit skinny. Iron Spider, I thought, was a much better proportioned figure and looks better. It might be the darker colors playing tricks on me compared to the lighter color of the Homecoming. But this Far From Home one, it just looks odd. And I think it's something that if you were to have it in hand, it would be much more noticeable than you might see here in the video. And I think for the most part, it's going to be that hip joint there, just looking oversized, a little bit bulkier than it should, and that kind of throws it off a little bit. Whereas the articulation isn't bad to any standard. It's really not, and I'm being overly critical of it because I think I just got kind of off to the wrong foot on this particular figure. But with Mafex, I feel like they have done so, the articulation on their figures is like absolutely ridiculous, that I was expecting better. So that could be my own expectations really messing it up for myself. but it's just, you know, that's kind of how I feel on it. It's still a good looking figure, but I think could look better if they used a brighter red. But the details in the suit are just absolutely amazing that you won't find on many other figures. SH Figuarts did a really good job with it as well, and this figure is no exception to that. So I don't want to take away from that. So let's zoom in so you can really see those fine little details. Okay, so I went back to brightening it up. So looking at like the texture of the suit and the details of the line work, you could see here where you kind of have that different shade. The pattern, the suit pattern really changes, so you could see those differences, and that's really cool that they did that. We get some of the lines there in the suit. Looking at the back, look like here on his actual back portion, the lines in his legs, the different pattern for the fabric, as well as there on the arms and everything. So I do want to point out that the details are great. The back. The web lines could be painted a little bit better. It's pretty soft. Even the Homecoming Mafex figure kind of suffered from that as well. You could see there, it's just not done nearly as nicely. SH Figuarts did the best job with it, as you could see. Marvel Legends didn't even try, so you know, there's that. We don't even get the white color in the spider logo there. You know, there's some red in there because of how the paint was applied. So it's unfortunate that nobody really gave us that except for the Marvel Legends figure. So that's missing there, but that's, you know, pretty minor, not that big of a deal. But the details in the suit are really nice, I have to admit. But let's see how this guy looks with all the different upgraded suit figures we've gotten. Okay, so here are the various different Spider-Man Far From Home upgraded suit figures. So we have the Marvel Legends, we have the Mafex, we have the SH Figuarts, and we have the Medicom Toys 112 Collective. If I were to pick one that was overall the best, I would actually probably pick the SH Figuarts, which is something odd because I'm honestly not that big of a fan of SH Figuarts. I'm not impressed with their figures for the price point because of all the ugly cuts and things like that. However, in this particular case, I really like the way the red looks. The black isn't really a black color, but the pattern of the suit, it looks really good. These three figures really did it nicely, whereas the Marvel Legends, it just didn't get the fine details of it. The Medicom Toys one even did. I really like the red. They did the web lines very nicely, the double line and everything. But it's a different type of figure when you have a cloth suit versus all the articulation points of the import figures. So it's hard to it's hard to kind of equate them. But the SH Figuarts might actually win it for me when I thought 100% without a doubt Mafex would be the winner. But for me, anyway, I am left feeling disappointed. You guys let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are. You know, I try not to be overly critical or complain a lot, but every now and then, you know, shit's gonna go down that way, I guess. My expectations were too high, and that's probably unfair. So I'm disappointed. You guys let me know down in the comments below. The web accessories and stuff are all the same from the various different, you know, Mafex figures. So you would pop the hand off and you put that around the wrist peg so it can look like he's using that. It's very easy to pop off the hands and everything. And you also have the magnetic feet, as you can see there. You do get one pair of magnetic hands, so if you wanted to put it up on your fridge that he's, you know, climbing it, whatever you want to do, you can do that. But anyway, that's it for the video. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of the figure. Am I wrong? Am I just too critical? What would you guys give me your honest opinion? If you guys happen to like this video, which I know it's probably tough, even if you're even here towards the end, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.